Today we are watching musicians rank themselves by talent by Jubilee, famous YouTube channel. Let's go! We brought 6 musicians together to rank themselves based on perceived talent, then rearranged them based on votes from our Instagram audience. So we will now know at the end of this video who their Instagram audience thinks is the most talented. Very cool.
Have like a quick conversation about like how you judge musical ability.
Being able to adapt and improvise is a big part of what is inherently a musician.
I mean, this is the problem already. If you don't have the same criteria, it's pointless. You need to build criteria that everyone follows. Otherwise, how do you define talent? It's like, yeah, I like people who only sound like Adele. But that's also, I guess, what makes this video interesting. Hearing how these musicians think they are and then seeing what the Instagram people think.
Also, playing multiple instruments, I think, is a sure-tale sign that you're talented musically across the board.
Not necessarily true. Sure, across the board, but that's not what a talented musician is anyway.
I would say there's like the skills, and then there's this sensibility, like how people are gonna feel about your music.
Totally, that's a good point. So each musician will get 2 minutes to show off their musical abilities. What would I do? That's a Swedish song. I would win.
Went through a breakup recently, so I wrote a song last week, and I actually wrote it on the piano, which I started playing last week, so...
But with first week of playing, you want this to be the showcase of your skill and talent? I don't believe in talent that much. I think talent is that you can learn easier than other people, but I think, you know, most of skill comes from practice.
Stars aligned so perfectly when I first met you. Could have sworn that we would get through anything.
I mean, it's nice.
But the daylight came and washed away any chance of sanity.
It's a little bit pitchy merch here, by the way. It's a little bit pitchy merch. It's on sale right now. I can tell it comes from the heart. I can feel like when I write from the heart, when things are very fresh, it can be very emotional for you yourself, but it's hard to translate a lot of the time. Like, usually you kind of need to have a little bit of distance and revisit it and be like, okay, this part is cringe, this part works. You know, just to be able to present it to people and have them respond the same way you intended, because they're not feeling the emotions you are right after a breakup. Okay, we got Michael. Okay, now I see why he said multi-instrumentalists. That's what he does. What? Did he bring all these? I don't know, man. I feel like being really good at one instrument is way better than being good at many. And I am one of those who is good at many instruments. I still feel like if you can make amazing music on one instrument, go for it. Unless you're recording and stuff. Maybe this guy, if he's recording in the studio, will be able to make great music. And it is about great music at the end of the day, I think. Not about musicianship. But this video is about talent as a musician. By the way, welcome back to another video. My name's Joel from Roomy Official, and I'm a musician. They're musicians. What a great fit for this channel. I do a lot of singing videos and bigger videos on this channel as well. Please support us on Patreon. We got behind the scenes, all kinds of beautiful stuff, but we also do some reaction stuff like this on the channel. Love it. Daniel, the drummer. Okay. Definitely got good energy. Band feeling, like, sounds like he's been in a band. Very functional. Even though it's impressive, it sounds like it could be in a song. It was good. Like, it's definitely good. They're all good. There's no mind-blowing stuff yet, but yeah, we'll see.
I'm about to lose my...
Oh, nice.
My mind. About to lose my...
That's fun. It was kind of the same thing over and over, just kind of riffing on my mind. It was very impressive, though. Awesome runs, really clean. Love the tone. My favorite so far, I would say. Here we got Cito. Cute. Musicians are so different from dancers because dancers really vibe to music and like, yeah, let's go. Musicians are like analyzing, B major. What should I define talent as? I think technical things are the easiest, but I do agree with this guy that it's more about how it's perceived and like more about how it connects emotionally with you, which can be different with different people, but I do think that a lot of popular music and a lot of very famous music connects with people on an emotional level. And I think that is actually more important than like how fast can you play or whatever. That's really nice too. Piano's just always really nice. Very dynamic. That's nice. Okay, my feeling is that number 1 and number 2 in the Instagram vote is gonna be the guy who played the piano and the singer girl. I just think they're the most accessible and not necessarily the hardest to do. The musicians must now rank themselves from least to most talented. This is when it gets awkward, okay?
Oh, shit. All right. One second.
Don't worry, we're not gonna take it personally.
This guy is a little bit scary because he's been looking at everyone else like this. Kind of like a little bit of a death stare. I'm very interested in seeing what he will say about the others.
I would say 6. I thought you were phenomenal. You were absolutely brilliant. This is just
But he put him in the
tough
bottom.
because there's 6 of us here. So like,
That's totally fine.
5 for you, and I thought like your piano was also just so brilliant. Like I thought, yeah, it was really crazy.
But you just play piano. You started playing piano last week, and you rank yourself as higher. Maybe he just thinks that his song is good, which is fair enough.
4 would be, I thought you were sick. Your voice is great. I would say 3. I thought you were phenomenal. Your voice is beautiful. I would say I'd give myself 2, but then I would give you number 1 just because the drums. That shit blew my mind, so.
I don't know, man. So I'm from Sweden. We have this thing called Jantelag, which means that you can't really be confident in the way we're like, yeah, I'm better than other people. I don't think I could have done this. You can do it! It would be impossible.
Okay, I'm gonna have to give you a 6 just because, you know, I didn't see a lot of musical stuff. Songwriting, it'd be probably a different number. 5, probably 1 instrument. I didn't get a lot of variety.
He's making the case for himself all the time. It's like, yeah, so multiple instruments, you know, not enough variety to be talented.
Probably 4, I just saw a lot of drums. I love the drums and you rip.
I don't think anyone's gonna rank themselves as number 1.
Myself a 3, I'd probably give you a 2 just for your voice. I'm gonna have to give you a 1 just because not only did you basically nail that piece that you played, but like just the expression, the dynamic.
Yeah, the dynamics were great on that.
I'm gonna give you the 6. I mean, I like it. I felt like she broke my heart too.
She probably did, bro. She probably did.
Wow, he hates his ex. What? She probably did. She probably did break her.
Okay, I'll give you the 5. I will give you the 4. So I would give myself the 3rd.
People tend to be putting themselves on 3rd, I guess. Maybe that is the modest thing to do.
I think I'm gonna give you the 2. Your piano, especially as a pianist myself, I think that's why I vibed the most with her. But just the piece that you played, I was like, wow.
I'm definitely biased towards singing, so yeah, it was definitely the singer that stood out the most to me.
6th, just the lack of experience, I guess. For 5, I guess maybe Daniel. 4, I would probably give to Sato. Yeah, I would give myself a 3.
I wonder how people will rank themselves if they didn't see the other people's rankings first, because now everyone's gonna rank themselves 3. That's just like group psychology.
Probably Michael a 2. And then I'd say Mary, I'd give you a 1. I would listen to you like in the car on a late night drive. I got head chills when you were singing.
I'm really sorry. I think I'm gonna give you the 6. The song was like super moving and beautiful, and I would want to see it. So I feel like that discredits you a lot.
Did you cry?
In the inside a little bit.
He's got humor. I like him more now. That's what he did, I guess, with the whole like, oh, she probably broke your heart too. But probably a joke. He wasn't serious, which makes more sense.
I think I'll give myself the 5. I think I'm gonna give you the 4, and it might just be because I'm in a band and I'm like always seeing guitarists.
He was in a band, just what I thought. It was really like used to playing with people. It's really like stable. A lot of drummers that are really talented but that don't play that much with bands will do a lot of things that might throw a band off, while this guy was very like, you know, I don't want to call the fills basic, but they're like predictable, so you know when the one is gonna come, so all of the band is kind of like with the beats.
I think I'm gonna give you the 3, but you were so good. And then I think I'm gonna give you 2nd, but in terms of like 1 of like, I think what I would want to go see on a Friday night, I think it would be you, because beautiful voice and solid guitar playing.
To generalize, I think most people always want to see singers. It's just, that's why I changed from being a drummer to being a singer, partly at least. I just realized that people want to hear singing.
I'm gonna have to give you the 6 just based off of the fact that I think if you practice more piano and you know, you get those quote unquote 10,000 hours, because I think songwriting and being able to accompany yourself is extremely important.
How is he feeling right now? I think he knew going into this that like he wasn't gonna be the most impressive of the bunch necessarily. When people are just ranking you last over and over, it can't feel good.
I'm gonna give myself the 5.
Wow.
I would give you the 4 because you went crazy. There was like 20 different time signatures.
That was not 20 different time signatures. I didn't hear the whole performance though, so maybe he did change time signatures, who knows.
I'm gonna give you the 3. I'm gonna give you the 2 just because I almost cried when you played. I'm gonna give you the 1. The fact that you can pick up so many different instruments and play it so well is something that I strive as an artist.
I think singers really want to be able to play a lot of instruments as well, mainly for kind of like the show-off thing of it, you know? You're getting all the attention because you're the singer, and then you play some guitar, and then you're like, ooh, I'm gonna play a drum solo. There's so many artists that do this, like I've seen Bieber do it, I've seen Bruno Mars do it. Everyone just kind of like, oh yeah, look at me, now I'm gonna play this instrument. I'm amazing. Okay, that was everyone. So the average ranking here, I just think drums are underappreciated. I think that there's a lot of work and time and effort that goes into drumming like he did. Okay, so then Jubilee let their Instagram followers rank the musicians based on who they thought was the most talented. Okay, what do I think? Again, I think that this guy and this girl are gonna be number 1 and 2 just because it's the most accessible. Drums by themselves, I just don't think it sounds very good. I think everyone could kind of see that this guy wasn't amazing at piano and stuff, and his singing doesn't really compare to hers. These two, number 1, number 2. These 3, I think he's probably on a lower, maybe number 4 or 5, and these 2 will be 3 and 4.
Number 6 is Julius. Number 5 is Summer.
Oh, she's number 5?
Daniel. Number 3 is Michael.
Okay.
Number 2 is Mary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I think this is what people enjoyed listening to the most. I would have put her as number 1, but I can see him as well because the music was really good. It's about the music at the end of the day. It's what I always freaking say on this channel. I don't care about how fast you can play or how big your bottom is. I do care about that actually, ladies. No, kidding. Don't take that seriously.
Obviously.
Yes, now I get to hear from Julius. This is what I wanted all along. I hope he's feeling okay. I think it's important to remember that whatever talent level you're at is not your goal, and it's always just about the work. How many hours you put in, how smart your practice hours are, how good is your teacher, all these things. Way more than like some talent thing.
Obviously, you know, like a little disappointed I got in last because if you ain't first, you're last. But these people are amazing musicians and instrumentalists and everything. You know, I thought I did a good job. I always do. I think I do a really good job of representing like my vulnerability, just being like as honest as possible. I think I did my job. I think, you know, I'm proud of what I did.
That's great. But yeah, that's still gotta hurt. You can kind of hear in his voice just a little bit of crackle. You're like, oh yeah, I think I did a good job. Yeah, I think I'm proud of what I did. Most people do have the basics to become like really great, and I think he can. I think he has a very good drive to write music and everything.
I was glad that I got number 1 for the audience, but I feel like it's very subjective.
Yeah.
And in terms of the ranking by musicians, I got 4 and I was also fine with it. It's how they felt, you know, and you cannot really argue with that. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think he has a really good understanding, very similar to me at least, about how music works and how it's about how it connects with the audience. If you play something really pretty that really resonates with people, people are always gonna like that more than something really difficult that doesn't.
Music for me isn't a competition, it's an art form. It's something that makes me feel like I can express myself and connect with other people, which is something that has always been super important to me.
I really think it's kind of pointless to talk about talent or whatever. I think whoever can make good music in whatever setting, amazing, do it. Just think about the music, and if the song is good, and I don't care at all about how fast you can play or whatever, do good music. There's awful musicians that make amazing music. So just get started if you want to do it, and listen to whatever you want, and don't get like sad if someone says that your favorite singer is untalented, because who cares? Okay guys, subscribe to Jubilee, check out some of our videos. See you in the next video, and if you don't turn up for that, this is your head.